Good morning to you all. Good morning. I just was looking at what I'm going to do next with the model railway. And of course, the question is always, where does the way lead us? But that's not the job for today. I've got plenty of things that need to be done, and we'll start to have a little look at some of them, I think. I think the first job, apart from making tea, is to start rationalising what it is that I'm going to do with all these bottles. There's no point cutting them just for the sake of cutting them. This one's interesting. It's triangular shape. It has pressed into the glass a crest. That's an interesting shape. But what do you do with a bottle like that? You can't really make a drinking glass with it, can you? I think that will just be a pot for standing paintbrushes in, which means it wants to be cut sort of about there. I think that's what that one's going to become. Bottle like this, the Shy Pig. I don't know who makes up funny names like that. What would we do with that? Again, it's just a sort of straight shape. That would probably make quite a nice flower vase. So perhaps it wants cutting sort of there. Now, these bottles I've got 7 of. And you sort of look at them and you think they would make drinking glasses, a set of drinking glasses for drinking cider out of. Or better, ordinary plain sweet apple juice. Which means they all need cutting at exactly the same height. Which means that the Mark I Faber bottle lathe needs a proper towel stock, so that when we're cutting bottles, we put the bottle in exactly the same place and the tool in exactly the same place. And of course we can't cut through a label, so the labels need washing off them. I've done some of that already. And then what of a bottle like this one? It's got some pressings into it. This bottle contained a blended Scotch whisky, and you think that might make quite a reasonable whisky tumbler if I cut it about there. It might do. It's going to be a funny sort of shape because these bottles, of course, they've got things in them. The reason this bottle has that is because it's got a screw cap on it. So it goes through a machine that catches hold of the bottle and allows it to twist the bottle to do up the top. I think that's why it's got it. I think that's just a sort of mechanical handling device. If any of you know better than that, please feel free to tell me. So there we are, there's some thoughts, but I do need to do the additions to the lathe to get the bottles cut in the right place. Now, I have been watching lots of methods of cutting bottles. All of it starts with scoring a line round it, and the more accurately the better the finished job will be. After that, there's a whole range of tricks for getting the cut to cut. You can pour boiling water over it and then cold water. You can tie strings round it and set fire to the string using acetone as an accelerant, things like that. You can, as you may have seen me do, use a soldering iron to work round the crack. What I'm going to be doing today, if I get that far, because there's one or two other things I need to be doing, is using two saucepans. One saucepan with strongly boiling water, the other saucepan with ice cold water. Make the mark, dip the bottle in the warm water, the hot water, take the bottle out of the hot water, plunge it in the cold water. That actually, having watched a few videos, seems to be one of the better ways of doing it if you're going to be doing 6 at a time. So there we are. That looks like the project for the morning, I think.